to the Varside Spurs pubcast, coming to you all the way from the Varside Arms. Tonight, we are joined for the first time in quite a few weeks by the one and only Jamie. Jay, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, mate. Yeah, I'm pretty fucked off at the moment. I thought, meeting up in someone's garden was going to do, a bit of positivity for me, but I weighed myself ridiculously at the in-laws, and I'm fucking 17 stone, for fuck's sake. The last time I was there, I was about 16 stone 4.
Last week?
Yeah, no, it's probably about 10 months ago, but other than that, yeah, I'm doing all right. There's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. We've got a holiday booked in Deal, end of April. Been playing loads of darts. Yeah, other than that, life's shit.
Because you'd think the darts would keep your weight off, wouldn't you? All that regular exercise and.
Well, the thing is, though, when you actually look at darts players, they're proper athletes. It's an Olympic
they are.
Sport.
Yeah.
There's something clearly going wrong.
Yeah.
But, I love it. But less about the box I've got to talk about. How are you, Mr. Worrell?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm really good, actually. I spent a good day today walking around Battersea Park. Spent the day with my daughter and my wife. We met up in the park, had a nice walk around. Got a lot of sun, and it was lovely.
What
really
were you
nice.
doing in Wandsworth?
I just told you I walked around Battersea Park.
Yeah, but
I don't know. Is it a cheap line? Like, can you not understand on the whole? Like, yeah, we would like. Well, Taylor's at uni down at Elephant and Castle, so we went to Battersea Park. Catch up with her. Yeah, nice. So yeah, had a good day, and then come back and I have to listen to you moaning.
Well,
putting on weight and how everything's going wrong.
I've got 3 weeks worth of gripes to get out of my system. So anyway, moving on.
We'll mute you when we need to. So you might have also heard the dulcet tones of Andy. How you doing, Andy?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Yeah, nothing as exciting as you guys. Just been working.
Well,
that's exciting.
Yeah, we all have to make a living, don't we, mate? You know what I mean? Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. You've got to pay the bills, haven't you? Yeah.
I mean, it sounds exciting. I'm sure it isn't, but it sounds really exciting.
Yeah. I try to make it exciting.
You do. You're not actually succeeding very well. So I think we'll move rapidly on.
All right. Okay.
We'll move on to our special guest. Is Kev? Welcome back, Kev. Been a while, actually. Probably a couple of months since we've had you on. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, Steve. Yeah. Just, hoping the season's going to let us back in right at the very end as spectators, but I don't know. It's touch and go. They're talking about the last 2 games or something. I was reading there's a possibility of crowds back in.
I think the last 2 games is in order to ensure that all teams get a home game, to get to see their team at home. If it was just obviously it was the last game, then it would just be half the teams obviously would get the opportunity to see their team at home. So I reckon that's probably the reason why, to try and balance it up. And I think they're also they were talking about, I don't know, I haven't caught up with this recently, but initially when they mentioned this, they were talking about moving the penultimate game in order to ensure that it fell inside the window for which the government would allow fans back into the stadium. So,
are they talking about numbers yet? How many they're going to allow back, or is it going to be 1,000 or 2,000?
No idea, mate. Kev seems more clued up about it than me.
Not really. I read all the right newspapers, of course, but 8,000
all the right newspapers. Hold on a sec. All the right newspapers. Are we?
All the red tops, then, Andy. Steve, is that all right?
I don't read any newspapers, mate. So
I can't even read.
I haven't even bought one for years, but there you are.
No. Same here. So, Kev, I mean, you've been quite modest. You had a massive milestone recently.
Yeah, sadly, yeah. It was real commiseration over a number of Zoom chats with various people. But you're not 40 every day, are you?
Exactly, Kev. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But I think, age is just but a number, isn't it?
When I woke up.
I think you should certainly. I think you should certainly celebrate your age. I mean, I'll be 50 next year. I have no issues or worries about the fact that I'll be 50 next year. I just hope to see 50 and take it from there. As long as I'm feeling relatively healthy, you look relatively healthy. I don't think you've got any issues that so yeah.
Who knows? But one thing I'll say to you, Steve, is without a shadow of a doubt, 50 to 60 was the quickest decade of the lot for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kev,
So less than 10 years, is
Like
it?
that. Yeah.
I was just going to say, Kev, really quickly. Obviously, growing up, people would say to you, "Oh, you're 11 now. Do you feel much better than 10, or does it feel different?" I'm going to ask the question: does 60 feel different to 59? It doesn't, does it? Surely it doesn't.
Not a lot. It's just what gets in your head, really, isn't it? And you sort of think, when I was younger, somebody was 60. My God, and they dressed like 60 back in the day as well. You back to your parents' era and whatever, and you just sort of think, I don't recall my dad wearing jeans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When
I was young, 50 just seemed ancient, and then when I became 50, I did feel ancient. So
it's funny. I've been thinking about all that bollocks recently. I'm 40, and I'm starting to feel fucking old. I mean, really old. I mean, my jeans don't fit me anymore. I wear stretchy waistband joggers. And it's downhill from here, so you guys are my inspiration, really.
That's got nothing to do with age, though, is it? That's purely, that's purely weight, isn't it? Lack of exercise, and probably a lot of tinnies, and that's probably why you're no longer fitting into your jeans.
I blame lockdown and Boris Johnson.
Okay, well, that sounds reasonable. Certainly sounds reasonable.
I blame his pastime, Steve.
Darts.
I mean, I didn't actually want to jump in at the time, but I did wonder when he was saying, about putting on the weight and everything like that, and didn't understand. Before those darts that he has that keep bouncing out of the board, surely you get fit having to pick those up.
Do you know what? I do a lot of walking every night, back from the board, back to the hockey, back from the board, back from the hockey.
But you're 6'5" or whatever. How many
that's
steps
a step, isn't it?
How many
That's a
steps
stride.
Exactly, from the hockey to the dartboard at your height. That's got to be like
a stride
and a half. Not even that, is it? You could probably lean forward and pull the darts back out of the board, which would actually support the fact that I think you actually just placed the darts in the board anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Just lean forward.
Significantly, lean further forward and just stick them in the treble 20s. Celebrate a bit. I bet he can't believe he come back on. It's like, fucking hell, I've not been on for 3 weeks and the fuckers are having a go at me. Like, we've been going for 10 minutes and they haven't stopped having a go at me. For fuck's sake.
I could be watching Only Connect.
Do you know what? I might just sign off now and just text my mate Wayne Mardle.
Oh yeah,
you lot can do one.
You're going to text him. You're going to text him, are you?
Well, tweet him via DM, because he's a friend of the show, isn't he? So
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, enough of that bollocks. Should we crack on? Excuse me. So,
bless you.
Thank you. We didn't. We got one quick game to talk about, which was the North London derby in the women's side. Big fanfare, big build up, and lots of stuff on social media about the women playing in the stadium and everything. And I think when we spoke about it last week on the show, we said that Arsenal were a kind of light years ahead of us, really, and the score reflected that. I don't know if any of you got to see any of the game. I saw the last 20-25 minutes, and by then we were already 3-0 down. But weirdly, I didn't think Arsenal defensively were that good. We started to really kind of get amongst them and start pressing them. I don't know. So I don't know what happened in the first sort of 60 minutes. But when we put them under pressure, they made mistakes at the back and we were winning the ball high up the pitch. And I don't know if that wasn't something that we did earlier in the game because we created chances, just couldn't put the chances away. There was one chance where we managed to get beyond the keeper and then they just recovered really well and we just weren't clinical when we were in that position. So I don't know. So I don't know how we set the game up, and it'd be interesting if any of our listeners actually had watched the game and can give a better insight into how the game went. But I certainly felt that when we got even in midfield, when we got amongst them and didn't give them time on the ball and really started to harass them, you know, you could see there was a little bit of needle. And you could see that they were getting a bit stressed. Even at 3-0 up, they were getting a bit stressed at how players were getting, around their feet and trying to win the ball back. And I just wondered if we just didn't do that for the whole 90 minutes. Because if we'd done it for the first 60 minutes, then I think we might have had a closer score, a closer result. So disappointing from what I saw, and hopefully the last 30 minutes gives a snapshot of how we should play against the likes of Arsenal when we go and play. So I think we've got Man City coming up this weekend, so that might be a good opportunity to try and change our playing style and see if that has a different outcome. Okay. So there we go. Anyway, so 3-0. So we're going to start off tonight, I think, with you, Andy. You wanted to talk about Skip and Tanganga.
Yeah.
In the under-21s.
Yes, I saw the under-21s last night, and Skip started, Tanganga started, Ryan Sessegnon started, and I was just kind of interested, actually, to see how all three of them would work in a team that I'm not that familiar with, to be honest. But I thought that Skip played really well in the first half and seemed to be controlling the midfield. I noticed that you had a comment last night where you were saying that you weren't quite sure why everybody was getting excited about Skip. But I thought he had a really good game. His passing was clean. His vision is good. He fights for the ball. And
so just, I have to hold my hands up and say I watched, I think, the last 15 minutes of the first half and the second half. And in that time, I didn't think he shone. I didn't think he didn't dominate the game. He was at fault for the first goal. He turned over possession when the ball was played forward to him. So Tom Davies played the ball forward to him. He turned over possession. They went down the other end and scored. When Davies came off, and who was it who went in alongside him? Someone went in alongside him. The guy that's the Chelsea guy who's currently playing at West Brom. Went in alongside
Gallagher.
That's it.
Gallagher.
That's it. And with Davies alongside him, obviously there were two sort of holding midfielders, and when Gallagher came on, it was Skip there on his own, and he was outnumbered, and just wasn't able to make an impression in there at all. Maybe it was the fact that he was outnumbered. I'm not writing him off at all. I don't write him off. I think he's a 19-year-old player. I think that he's got potential to be really good for us, but I don't think that as things stand. My issue is that, we've discussed this on the pod a couple of times, but, we have situations where he plays a game and loads of Spurs fans check the Norwich account and he's one of 4 names that are put up there as the potential man of the match. And all the Spurs fans just pile in and go, yeah, it'll be fucking great, it'll be great. Get the Spurs man to be the man of the match.
Absolutely, that's the way it is, isn't it? Yeah.
But it doesn't mean